Good morning, students. We are on chapter number 2, Accounting for Debenture. Today in this lecture, we are going to discuss about provision of finance for the redemption of debenture. Friends, as we have discussed about this, that company normally issue debenture which are redeemable. That means at the time of redemption, payment will be done to the debenture holder. So, from where the provision should be done for finance to pay off the debenture holders, about that we are going to talk in this lecture. Provision of finance for redemption of debenture. Provision of finance for redemption of debenture. Debentures are the liabilities of company. Yes, it is liability. The repayment of debentures to the debenture holder is made by the company in accordance with the terms and conditions as stated in prospectus at the time of issue of debentures. So, friends, how the payment will be received to the debenture holders? When it will be received, everything is mentioned in the prospectus, which is issued at the time of issue of debentures. Okay, when debentures are to be redeemed after a fixed period, the company is aware about the time and amount of money required for such redemption. Obviously, it is a long term liability, it is payable. If it is payable on a fixed period, after fixed period, you will be knowing the amount and about the time of that particular period. You will be knowing how much amount will be needed and at what time it will be needed. In this reference, there are some new provisions under Companies Act 2013. Earlier, before this act, there was a system for arrangement of debenture redemption fund and debenture redemption fund investment by the company. To increase the effectiveness of this system, there are new provisions included under section 71(4) of Companies Act 2013 along with the rule 187C of companies share capital and debenture rule 2014. Explanation is given according to this provision. What is the explanation? So the explanation will say us that redemption of debentures may be managed by company from the different three sources. One, from the fresh issue of new debentures and shares. Second, out of capital, and third, out of profit. Amount required for redemption of debentures may be managed by the company from the following sources. Number 1, redemption of debentures from the fresh issue of shares and debenture, or second, debenture of redemption out of capital, or third, redemption of debenture out of profit. So friends, these three. First, at the time of redemption of debentures, company make arrangement for the fund by issuing the new debentures or shares. So, on one hand, company is redeeming old debentures, and other hand, company is issuing debenture and shares. So, company get the appropriate money and can pay off the debenture holders. And second condition, company use current capital of the company to repay the debenture holders, and sometimes company make use of profit to repay the debenture holders. Let us see one by one about all three. Redemption of debentures from the proceed of fresh issue of shares and debenture. When a company is in need of additional fund for the redemption of debenture, it may decide to issue new equity shares, preference shares, or debentures. The proceeds of fresh issue of share capital and debentures are utilized for redeeming the old debentures. Very simple. One hand issue new debentures or shares, and other hand redeem the old debentures. In such type of redemption, the financial position of company is not adversely affected because company is getting money out of fresh issue and paying to the old one. So financial position remain unchanged. It is not adversely affected. Let us talk about redemption of debentures out of capital. Redemption of debentures out of capital, when no profit are set aside for redemption of debenture, it is called redemption out of capital. When company is not making any kind of provision out of profit for redemption of debentures, it is called redemption out of capital. But according to section 71 subsection 4 of Companies Act 2013, and as per SEBI, that is Security and Exchange Board of India guideline, requiring creation of debenture redemption reserve account equivalent to at least 25% of the total face value of issue of debentures before redemption commence. This amount is transferred from surplus in statement of profit and loss account, so full amount for redemption of debenture is not purely out of capital, but the balance amount is payable from capital of the company after compliance of the above provision. Friends, whenever there is a redemption of debentures out of capital, company needs to create a debenture redemption reserve of at least 25% of the face value of debentures which are to be redeemed. So by doing so, when company do create this reserve out of statement of profit and loss account, or you can say it surplus in statement of profit and loss, then entire redemption is not out of capital. 25% at least is kept aside already, and remaining 75% or less is out of capital. Okay, so this is what redemption of debentures out of capital. What is important here, we need to keep in mind, when there is a redemption of debentures out of capital, company needs to create debenture redemption reserve equivalent to at least 25% of the total face value of issued debentures. Okay, and this should be done before redemption of debentures. Now let us talk about redemption of debentures out of profit. Redemption of debentures out of profits. Redemption out of profit means provision for an amount equal to the debenture issued is transferred from surplus in statement of profit and loss account by the company. This provision is to be executed before redemption commence. So here the change is, if the redemption is out of profits, in this case 100%, that is total amount equal to debenture issued, should be transferred from surplus in statement of profit and loss account. So these two things we have to keep in mind. If the redemption is out of capital, 25% at least 25% DRR is created, that is DRR, debenture redemption reserve, is created at least by the 25% of the face value of debentures to be redeemed. And in case of profits, in case of redemption of debentures out of profit, debenture redemption reserve is created equal to the 100% of the debentures face value which are to be redeemed. For this, company has to create a new debenture redemption reserve account in which required full amount or amount for redemption of debenture is transferred from surplus in statement of profit and loss to debenture redemption reserve account. Due to this effect, company reduces the amount of profit available for dividend. Obviously, when you are using profit for repayment of debenture holder, that means there will be a reduction in the amount of profit available for dividend, and it is used for the redemption of debenture. This amount is not available for payment of dividend, thus existing liquid resources of company are not affected by the redemption of debenture. So here also the amount normally which company supposed to declare as a dividend is company is using that amount for redemption of debentures. So in this case also the liquid resources of company are generally not affected by the redemption of debentures. So friend, this was all three different provisions of finance for redemption of debentures. Let us continue with the topic. SEBI's guidelines for redemption of debentures. The creation of debenture redemption reserve is obligatory only for non-convertible debenture and non-convertible portion of partly convertible debenture. So this is obviously this DRR is created for what? For non-convertible debentures or for the portional partly convertible debentures. That means if the debentures are partly convertible, then also this reserve will be created. Second, a company shall create debenture redemption reserve equivalent to at least 25% of the amount of debenture issued before starting the redemption of debentures. So this we have already seen that 25% is minimum and 100% in case of if debentures are redeem out of the profits, and if it is out of the capital only 25%. So at least 25% reserve is created. And friends, when the reserve which is created, that is debenture redemption reserve, after the procedure of debenture redemption is over, this reserve is transferred to general reserve. Balance of debenture redemption reserve is shown on the equity and liability part of the balance sheet under the head reserve and surplus. When all the debentures have been redeemed, the debenture redemption reserve account is closed by transferring the amount to general reserve account. Debenture redemption reserve account debit to general reserve account will be the entry for this. Now let us talk about the debenture redemption investment. Friend, this is also mandatory as per rules of 18(7)(c) of companies share capital and debenture rule 2014. Company required to deposit or invest a sum which shall not be less than 15% of total face value of the debentures to be redeemed at the end of the year, that is during the year ending on 31st March, on or before 30th April at the beginning of the year. This investment is called debenture redemption investment account. Friends, here company needs to invest or deposit in debenture redemption investment at least 15% of the face value of debentures which are to be redeemed. And when should this investment be done? This investment should be done on or before 30th April of the year when debentures are to be redeemed or when debentures are due to be redeemed. So suppose debentures are to be redeemed in the year of 2020 and 21, then on or before 30th April 2020 that this investment should be done. How much investment? 15% of face value at least. The amount so deposited or invested can be utilized only for the purpose of repayment of debentures maturing during the year. Okay, the amount should be invested in the specified securities which are mentioned in the Companies Act for the redemption of debentures. The amount invested or deposited shall not be used for any purpose other than redemption of debentures. So this amount which is invested, it is purely for redemption of debentures. Now friends, let us talk about the method of redemption of debentures. So there are 4 methods of redemption of debentures. One, lump sum payment at the end of the fixed period. Second, payment in installment by drawing of lots. And third, by purchase of own debentures in the open market. And fourth, by conversion into shares. In this video we will consider first 2, that is lump sum payment at the end of the fixed period, and second, payment in installments by drawing of lots. Lump sum payment at the end of the fixed period. Under this method, the company redeems whole of its debentures in one lump sum at the expiry of specified period or earlier at the option of the company. Such redemption may be made at par or at premium according to the terms of issue. Here debentures are to be redeemed according to provision of Companies Act and also as per SEBI guidelines. The journal entries for this method is as follow. So friends, as we have seen that first of all, the year in which debentures are to be redeemed on 30th April or before of that year, or we need to invest, that means company need to invest 15% of face value of debentures. So the first entry will be on 30th April of that particular year where debentures are due to be redeemed. The entry will be debenture redemption investment account debit to bank account. Okay friends, and then on the date of redemption, that is at the time of redemption, these redemption investment, that is debenture redemption investment, will be sold off and entry will be bank account debit to debenture redemption investment account, right? Here if these debentures are invested in some percentage securities, then interest will also be considered. In that case, entry will be bank account debit to debenture redemption investment account to interest earned account, right? So first two entries will be first entry for investment, that is debenture redemption investment to bank, and second entry for encashing the investment, that is bank account debit to debenture redemption investment account. Then on second stage, company needs to create DRR. We have also discussed about this. DRR is created 25% at least in case of redemption out of capital, and in case of out of profit it is created to 100% of the face value. In both the cases, entry will be surplus in statement of profit and loss account debit to debenture redemption reserve account. Okay friend, surplus in statement of profit and loss account debit to debenture redemption reserve account. And then actually procedure start, means then after we or company will redeem the debenture, and for that entry we very well know debenture account debit to debenture holder account and debenture holders account debit to bank account. In case debentures are redeemed at premium, then debenture account debit, premium on redemption of debentures account debit to debenture holders account, and then debenture holders to bank account. And finally at the end, as we have discussed in this lecture itself, that after redemption procedure is over, the debenture redemption reserve is transferred to general reserve, and entry for that becomes debenture redemption reserve account debit to general reserve. So friends, these 5 to 6 entries we need to pass for redemption of debenture at lump sum payment at the end of the fixed period, right? First two entry for investment and encashing the investment, then to create DRR, and then two entries for redemption of debentures, and then finally one entry to transfer the DRR to general reserve. Okay. A second point was redemption of debenture in installment by drawing lot. This portion is given only for theory. According to this method, the debentures are redeemed by the company in annual installment. For example, if total debentures of rupees 25 lakh, then from this 5 lakh may be redeemed every year. The serial number of debentures which should be redeemed each year are selected by lottery. This procedure is known as drawing by lots. Debentures are redeemed at par or at a premium according to the terms of issue. Required amount is transferred to debenture redemption reserve account for redemption of debentures. For this, necessary rules are depicted earlier. So in this case also rules are same. The only difference is that in different lots the debentures are redeemed. They are not redeemed in one shot, different lots, and every year few debentures are redeemed. The example is given, suppose debentures are of rupees 25 lakh and every year 5 lakh debentures are redeemed. So within 5 years all debentures will be redeemed, but the procedure will remain same and the rules will remain same. That means we will have to create CRR, DRR and everything, and investment will also be required equal to the 15% at least of the face value of debenture which is to be redeemed. Okay friends, right? In next lecture we will be doing sums based on this, and then after we will continue with the third and fourth method, that is what purchase of own debentures in the open market and by conversion of debentures into shares. Okay, thank you.